Hello everyone, this is Connor, and this is another Islanders tutorial video. This is going to be a little bit different than my last one. As you can probably tell from the video length, it's going to be a little bit longer. I had some requests not to cut the video for any placements of buildings, so I'm going to try and stick to that. Although, because I value my time and all of your time, I'm going to try and play a little bit faster than I normally do. So this is a fresh start post-expansion, as you can see by Seaweed Farms, and got a balloon up here, monument, etc. But this was my first island. I've already made a video about the first island that covers kind of the basics of tactics, what I would consider like the first level strategies to try and up your Islanders game. And I got a little over 4,000 points on this island. Some of the new first island shapes are considerably better than the previous first island generation rules, so you're able to get a higher score even on the very first island. As you can see, this one was reasonably successful, so let's try and repeat that success on the second island. Now, I haven't seen this island, obviously, so maybe we'll get a archipelago or some unusual shape or something of that note to discuss. Okay, so my initial opinion is this is not a great island. Sometimes you just have to play the hand you're dealt. So we have a statue over here, a decent amount of flat ground around it, although sections like these walls and up here are wasting a lot of that space. Our gold's over here, so our mansions are going to need to probably dot in this area, possibly also around here, but I imagine that the mine and jeweler would go pretty close in. As for our houses, I'd like to fill up the sandy area around here. That seems like the largest sort of central patch of land. Getting points out of this is going to be pretty difficult. It's also possible that I'll be able to put a wall plateau about here, coming off of this edge, and then I can place my temple there to get the huge bonus from the statue. But I might not be able to get a statue boost on my temple, which would be a pretty serious blow to the points of the temple. But let's go ahead and start. So like I said, I'm going to try and play a little bit faster than previously. Using the exact same logic as I described in my last video, there isn't a lot of green space. Obviously here it's orange, but, you know, grass for me to place farms on, so I'm going to take lumber first, hopefully try and delay farms as long as possible. Now, like I said, I think my houses are going to go in here, so even though that would be a higher scoring section of trees, I'm probably going to try and find... Yeah, like if I pick up this statue, I can probably get 11, 12 points over here. Yeah, it looks like over here is probably going to be more beneficial overall, and if I end up placing my lumberjack somewhere like here, I can probably catch it with a warehouse in this region, which could be close enough to the market over here, etc. Market might actually be down here, come to think of it, or on a wall plateau off of this thing. That's a little far ahead to try and predict, but I will go ahead and place this. Now, this is after not one, but 2 updates. So there are some somewhat notable strategy changes based on the undo button and the new buildings. I will go over those as they are applicable. Ooh, these are both pretty good, actually. Brick industry is never going to be high scoring. Just like, no matter how well you place them, you're going to end up overlapping each other in my experience. But it is a path towards Mason, and Masons are a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this earlier than I would perhaps want to. As you can see, the radius of the sand pit is just so large that you won't be able to avoid grabbing other negative sand pits. So I'm going to probably just keep placing lumber for now. 10 points there, and then there has to be like a 7 somewhere around here. Maybe not. Yeah, this isn't very valuable space. I mean, this little isolated sliver of rock right here would not hold a larger building. So I'm going to continue to hold off on these sawmills. If I get like 2 or 3 more of these, you know, that's an additional 20 points probably I'll be able to pick up. So I'm going to try and just get these 2 to get me the 28 points that I need. Which actually doesn't really seem achievable, but I'll get close. Alright, so industry appears to be over here, so I'm going to try and keep industry headed in that direction. I do want to get the statue with this brickyard, however. And I want it to be close enough that my later wheels can pick it up. So if I imagine a wheel here, that'll probably still intersect this sand pit. So I don't need to worry about that radius. But I will be able to fit one, maybe two over here. So I think I actually want to stretch this radius and this direction, if that's clear. I want to catch this with the very rightmost edge of the brickyard, so that the brickyard is as left as possible, so that a sand pit over here can grab it more easily. I know that I am playing and talking faster than in the previous video. I could be on this island for a while, and I don't want to waste anyone's time, so I'm going to try and be cogent and clear, but quick. Yeah, I need to place one of these, and I won't be able to get all four. There's just no way. I think if I place more lumberjacks, they're actually going to be over here, probably, because I can maybe get these and that. Although, that's actually no additional trees. Where will my next lumberjack go? Down in here could get all of those, and then a sawmill here could touch those three. But you know, one out here might get those. I'm trying to place this sawmill so that my next sawmill won't overlap it. And I think this is too central of a spot. This would probably bite me easier than placing one a little further out. So I think I will actually go right down in here, make sure I'm not breaking any trees. And there we go. Alright, city. As I said last time, I want to get the city as soon as possible. So, with just one city center and 4 mansions, I will likely be building mansions and waiting on houses. I don't like to mix the two because of the gold mine and the circus, respectively. And I do want to have either a city center or a shaman for each. So my shaman, currently, there's a lot of flowers over here, couple over here, and the statue. A lot over here, but I imagine that my shaman will end up out here, which is more where houses are going to go, which means that this city center can go for the mansions. I want to have some point benefit, so I could do something stupid like place it here, but then mansions, even here, will barely touch it. So I think if I want to start my mansions up here, I need to just build a 15-point city center. And now we can actually do our first usage of the undo command. First explanation of that. So I want to place this such that I can fit like a mansion and a half on this side, right? So I want to be able to fit a narrow end in and then also a fat end, if that makes sense. Because you can think of the buildings as kind of having this default square shape. Yeah, like this house. This default square shape, and then being subdivided into halves of that. Like this is 2 different halves connected in an L shape. So you can see the top section be one half, the bottom another. Anyway, I want to have a mansion and a half of space, so I can do that by placing this and then checking with these. That actually does not seem like quite enough space. Like if I placed this here, I do not think I could fit a narrow building in between those two. So now I can undo the city center and place it a little bit further in. And that looks actually a wee bit too far. So maybe something like that. Yeah, that looks right on the money. So by using the undo command like that, you can mess up fewer placements. Oh no, I'm slowing down already. I haven't even gotten to the difficult decisions. So yeah, let's try that. An arrow will easily fit in there. Then we can put a fat here. And if I put one there, I won't be able to fit any narrow shape there. So I can't do another. It also will not fit in there, but it seems like I should be able to get... Yeah, let's just do that, 10. That's fine. Not the totally most efficient usage of space, but again, I'm not trying to scrape every single point out. I'm trying to play a little faster for your viewing pleasure. So now that I have a mason, I want to build my mason close to the statue, because again, I'm still keeping the dream alive of building the temple over here. Masons also provide a huge point bonus to houses, which I'm about to start making with this city center. City centers also like masons, although I think... yeah, it's better to build the mason first. So I can just plop this on... Typically, I don't like building these on like a large flat area like this, where I would be able to fit other buildings, when you can instead place them kind of on the edge like this and take up land that is otherwise less valuable. So I think here... well, comes down to how likely I think it is I can put a temple here. And I think that's actually fairly likely, so let's just build this right in here. Right there, sure. Now my city center can give me a pretty high point value. I will again try and build about 2 buildings in from the side this time. That looks about right. Not quite far enough. Maybe more like here. Yeah, it should be fine. Now let's try and get some high point value houses down. And just like before, again, I'm not going to cover exactly the same strategy information as last time, because I'm trying to kind of make these videos build on each other, but you should always get new buildings before placing any of the ones you have. It literally cannot hurt you. Just gets you more information. Having more information lets you make more informed choices. I think it's possible that a shaman up here will catch enough of these flowers to make it worthwhile. It won't be able to touch many mansions, but because I want to see how these points play out, I'm going to try and avoid placing these for the moment. I do, however, want to go ahead and get this hops field down. It's not going to get a lot better. If you look at the things it scores for, Resort Oasis are very far away. Statues, I'm only having the one that I already have. It's never going to be better than that. And you want to place them before breweries, so the brewery point is almost irrelevant. So now we get to decide where our resort oasis is going to go. A well-planned resort oasis can easily score you 100, 160 points. So keeping that in mind, you want it far away from your city centers, but close to the hops, which have to be close to your houses for you to get maximum brewery points, because you want the maximum tavern points, pardon, not brewery. So I think I can actually build these out here, and then place the resort oasis on a water plateau. And this is a fairly large, fairly flat area. I don't think these 7 flowers are going to be my best shaman. Like, I think there's already at least 7 over here, or at least a similar number. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get these easy points. I know that was a lot of discussion for 5 points, but build sequencing is, I think, one of the most important factors in your score. Now, can I get the statue? Maybe if I slide out this edge? Man, that's disappointing. Alright, so I will, however, try to make effective use of my remaining space. Build first there. Then I do want to get back on this square pattern. I don't want to have all of these built in here at weird angles. So place that. And then 10 is fine. I'm actually going to take that back. I think I'm going to lose a lot of points over here if I don't wait for maybe another mason or something. So instead, I think I am going to go ahead and start scoring from these. There's like a 1 pixel gap here that it's good to place in. But that is enough. 21, and then there's no other spot that'll intercept 3 without touching each other. and I don't think I can intercept 4 no matter what I do. So I can get 14 points max. Man, yeah, I'm already kind of a weird choke point where I don't really want to place any of these. But let's go ahead and mansion. So get 12 points there. I moved it in a little in case a wall will fit there. Walls got a little more robust after the update, so you can plan for them. It's the perfect mansion for that spot. Let's move on. Shamans. Okay. So let's see how good this shaman is. Let's see if I was messing up. Alright, I can get a 24 out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, okay. The radius is small enough. I was concerned about that, so I'm glad that I went ahead and placed these. But I have a few good options here. I think this is my largest flower concentration. Like, just looking around, I don't see any other competitive location. So there is a pretty high point value shaman in this region that I can then build houses near. That actually might just be the clear winner, but I can also put 1 or even 2 over here to benefit from all these flowers. And although the second one will strip me of some points, it will enable me to build really high point houses or mansions over here. Probably mansions, because a jeweler up here might be able to grab a few in this region. But I also need space for my houses, and I don't want them to end up over here. Okay, I have 3 shamans and 1 city center. I can get a relatively small minus here. And I have a lot of point value stored, especially in these shamans. Could also just, like, place this, and then... Alright, minus 10 for city centers, minus 5 for shaman. So I place the shaman first. 26 point shaman. Yeah, this is going to be good. Okay. So I'll place my shaman, and then I'll place a city center in this little gap here. So these will, like, buildings over here, houses and mansions, will be worth a ton, right? I can already probably get, yeah, there's like an 18-point house. Plus, I can now use these other 2 just for points. So, 24 points, or I might be able to get 2 different 21s. Will I need expansion before I need more points? I think I have plenty of room right now, so I don't need to go ahead and start another city concentration point. So I think I'll take the 2 21s. If I was trying to start a new city over here, I'd place them closer together. But I think I have plenty of room for my cities right now. So let's take a 21, and I can actually get a 24. As close as I could. But I'm not going to place it yet, because I have new buildings. Fissures are fun to unlock early because they take no space. No space that other buildings want, at least. So, unfortunately, there probably won't be a spot that touches all 3 of my city centers, but I can get 2 easily. So, Hopsfield first. Then, I'm waiting on the brewery as long as possible. It's just always better to wait. Then my sand pit won't get any better. And again, like, I can already get 12 points over here, but this is kind of the problem that I said about, like, sand pits and brickyards never being worth that much. Because, like, there just aren't that many things that give it points, and none of them are reliable. You'll only have a few brickyards. But I don't want to take up this valuable space, so I'll place it as far out here as I can. And then I actually don't want to place another out here. I'd rather have hops in there, I think. So let's go ahead and use this to bump me over the line. I want it as close to the other shaman as possible, because now a house can touch them both. So that's why I built them relatively close together, but not in each other's radius. And there might even be... Yeah, that's pretty cute. This is actually going to be a really high point value area. I think that's worth it. Because now I can do like a 16-point house with no city center. Which is interesting, at least. Now, I think... Yeah, mansions won't touch it, though. Mansion's tiny radius really holds them back. let's go ahead and... Oh, man. I can't quite squeeze in around this little rock right here. I don't want to take up prime real estate either. Like, that would be a perfect spot to slip a small building limb into. So... let's go ahead and do a house instead. Yeah, 18-pointer. Can't complain. Now, I know that in the recent update, they changed things so that the point values you need to unlock buildings in the late game are higher. And I assume they mean the late game per each island. I have never actually tracked like how many points each unlock takes, but it might be a deliberate change to kind of curtail like continual island play. So right now I could move on, but I'm going to stay here as long as I can, get as many points as I can. And I think that they changed the point values so that you are not able to continue unlocking new buildings on an island just forever, right? Like if you can keep getting high value buildings, there's a huge amount of space here I haven't used yet. So we will see what effect that has. It's not going to be relevant for a while, I don't think. Fountains. Good, good. I'm still delaying farming, same logic. I don't want to use up this space. Farms are never going to be worth that many points. The other important purpose of the undo function, besides what I've been using it to measure for, is like, obviously I'm going to want my fountain to be near my mansions. That's like the most profitable place to put it. But I don't want to fill this space when I build new mansions to try and surround it. So since I know that my fountain is going to go... this is actually a decent spot, but I think here I'll get a higher score overall. So my fountain's going to go here. So every time I place a mansion that might interrupt this fountain, I'll just double check the fountain before moving on. So if I like decide to, I know this is going to block it. So if I place that there, but maybe I think, oh, like, does this still fit? It kind of doesn't. You can see that bottom corner is overlapping now, overlapping into this area. So then I can just undo that mansion. That is a very valuable implementation of it, at least to the way that I play. So, yeah, fat mansion there. Skinny mansion. I wish it was any other skinny mansion. Like, literally any other shape would be better for that. But I can place it, like, here. And now this isn't a real check. Yeah, okay, so that still fits. Sweet. Man, exact same garbage skinny. Well, can get some points out of it. I really need to touch the city center with these. There's no other value up here. And I'm not going to be able to build parks up here, which is the downside of the fact that this is on a rocky surface, not a grassy one. Alright, I'm going to leave that for right now. I might end up coming back to it even this cycle, but may as well look around. So, yeah, this is going to be down here. I think 10 points. I mean, maybe I can get a comparable score somewhere fitting it in out here. Like, there's 8, 7. I saw an 11. I think I saw an 11. There's a lot of number 1s over here. What building... what tree would it have touched? I guess that one's too high up. Yeah, okay. So I can place it right in here for my 10 points. And then I can place this up here for an easy 21. And that's the payoff for waiting as long as I did. I've had that, you know, essentially since my second unlock, I think. And then for my final points, a house. Okay, huts. As I said last time, I like to use huts as kind of a gap filler. Their point value is going to gradually increase as you play, but occasionally it does drop back down. If you're ending up placing a lot of infrastructure, a lot of industry, then you will end up with a slightly lower point value. So right now, I can touch all 3 city centers, that's the big payoff building for this, and get 25 points. And before I place a lot more industry in this area, I should consider go ahead and placing the hut. So I am about to place a mason here. That'll put it down to 24 points. My next city center is probably not gonna be out here. I don't know why it would. I guess that's pretty good for fishers. Yeah, I think I'll wait on the hut. I think I might actually city center out here, because then I can put a fisher here and get 3, over here and get 3, over here and get 3. So next city center might go over here. I'm also at some point going to probably end up with one up here, possibly one out here if I'm still playing and I've already filled around the statue here. So, time to just place this in. I'd like to try and avoid the negative points from the Shaman, but the negative points from the other Mason I do not care about. Placing them in close proximity will allow me to score off of both of them easier, so the -4 is pretty easy to offset. I think a 16 is sufficient. Now you see it's pretty easy to get a house that grabs both of those. So, and I can actually probably get some really high point value houses in this area that will score off of like all of these buildings. Yeah, there's a 23. I think I'm actually gonna I'm trying to think of a different shape of house would let me fit 2 up here. And it looks like this whole corner, you can maybe see the gray variation there on YouTube. I'm not sure how clear it'll be, but this whole corner is unbuildable. So I can only build on it if I manage to like kind of trick a building out onto it, like right there. That should not be possible, but because I've slid it out, it is. I think maybe I will be able to fit multiple there. So for the time being, I'll just build up here. I saw a 19. Okay. Is that getting the Shaman? Is that why it's 19? Yeah. Yeah, you see, if I'm not getting a city center, even with the double mason and the statue, this is still only kind of a middling point value. But I'm gonna have to accept some of those, of course. I don't want to build a 12 over here, though. Even up here, I'll be able to get a decent score. But I think a 14 is fine. It's fine. Get one down here that doesn't kill any trees. Yeah, so I don't know how I'm going to get a circus in here, but I'm not going to plan for circuses. I'm also not crazy about parks on this map. You can build parks on the sand, which is good, but obviously my mansions will never benefit from them. At least not until my mansions have overflowed down into this region. So let's look around, see what we can do with these trees before they end up getting removed. I don't want to fill this area up too much, because I will have more hops fields to place, but point values like this are just kind of hard to ignore. So we'll take maybe 2 of them. Again, I don't want to completely deprive myself of hops field building areas. If I'm going to build that 23, I may as well just build it in alignment, because that was going to block any new hops fields anyway. And then this value will have risen a little bit. 17, still decent. I'm going to go ahead and do it. That's a lot of points. Then pull in an 18, that'll give me new buildings. Holding on to these huts still. I know a lot of people like to put temples on plateaus, but the 25 point boost is pretty easily offset. Like, 1 mason is also 25 points, and the plateau just occupies so much space. Like, it effectively blocks opportunities to score higher points. You can also, like, that was a pretty good demonstration of it, so I'll do it again. You can also just slide plateaus into things, and as long as you do it kind of gently, you can usually get further than you'd expect into the wall. Not always a good choice, because it does remove buildable area, but can be nice. Alright, so what is this plateau going to do for me? I don't think I need to place it yet, but I might want to, because obviously it's so large, and if I end up using the spot that I wanted to place it in, it's tempting to just place it in this area I was sliding it into, just like flush right here. That will benefit parks, and I think even houses get a bonus from, yeah, 3 points. Yeah, it's a high enough point payout, and it's also in a pretty good spot to build. So I'm going to clip it into the wall here to try and actually create more buildable terrain, because none of this is buildable. But if I overlap it, I can maybe get a little bit more space. That seems fine. Close enough. I can still nestle a house down in here, which I will do. Now, I'm another shaman. I don't think there's any good shamans around here, though. Yeah, there's enough negatives going on that I'm not really going to benefit from that. I can also get a huge negative over here. And I'm not totally sure where my positive is going to be. I mean, wow. There's so many flowers over here, I might be able to get something really silly going on. Yeah, let's do that, just because now I have, like, this kind of garbage. 21-point houses with no city center, no statue. Alright. More mansions. Okay, finally I get this little guy. Now I'm going to double check and make sure I haven't blocked the fountain with that last building, and I have not. See, the fountain still barely fits. Then, even though these are going to be low point value, I'll make back the points later with the jeweler, possibly other structures. I'm never getting a park up here, and I'm probably not going to place another city center like here or anything, because that would cut into these profits. Mansions are kind of difficult. You have to either take a big negative to set up like a double city center or a city center shaman in order to get any sort of double score from them. Like, that's fine, and I could build mansions over here to utilize it, but their radius is so small that you'll never be able to double dip in the same way you can do over here. Like, what, I'm going to be able to get 2 of these clusters? No way. I can at best do those 2. Which might actually be where my mansions go now. But the fountain alone gives me 3 points back for each. Jeweler's going to be 5 more, so this is really like a 12 point. Still not exciting, but I think I can accept it. 4 there. 5, and I've probably almost maxed out the fountain's range. Because obviously I can't build in there, where the mine is. Alright, come on. Can't really see it. Yeah, I think maybe one of this like small shaped mansion would fit in there. So I guess I wait to get one of those to place the fountain. But if I ever needed points, I could just cash that in. I wouldn't be losing out on much by doing that. Yeah, 21 points pretty easily. 22. I guess right up along that side, even if it deforests a little bit, that's still an efficient usage of space. And I'm not going to place a, what are these things called? So, a lumberjack over here. Tower, I took that because I want towers late game, and unlocking them early means they're more likely to show up. I'm going to get more of them over the course of the game. I don't think it changes the likelihood, but I will see more of them because I'll be getting more total unlocks. So, I still need more houses. This area is really point rich. Hops Field's like free. You see already I'm like cutting into space that I might want for houses. I think I'd go ahead and miss out on 2 points in order to still have this area usable. There's still like a 22.23. Let's go ahead and take that. 23 is a lot for a park. Okay. Now I might have to do some serious deforestation if I wanted to keep building here. And I think, I want to wait until I have a house to double check, but I think even a house here is not going to be worth more than these parks. Plus the parks will be worth 5 points more when I place a resort oasis out here and get 5 points each from the parks. So how do I want to get my remaining points? I think a fisher. I think the fisher over here is pretty safe. I can also place it like out here, try and use less valuable space, but I think this would be fine. Yeah, let's do that, and then one park. Actually, one mansion might be a better idea. Just get these points. Oh, I think I just placed a 7-pointer. I think I moved it a little bit too far. That's, of course, the other benefit of the undo button. I can afford to play a little bit faster. I can be a little clumsy and just undo it. Obviously, this -8 is pretty easy to absorb compared to same score. Placing over here... Yeah, I don't want to take up any prime real estate with this thing. I saw a 20, briefly. But again, this is a pretty profitable spot, and it also ruins the squareness here that I can use to build a large building. So I think I'll take 19. 19 and 20 are essentially the same number. You don't need to worry about individual points in my experience. Like, sure, by the very end of the game, maybe you end up 3 points short. But if you've made like 8,000 points, and then you end up 3 points short, which means you don't unlock more buildings, which would have given you 20 more points. It's just not a big deal. Obviously, you should try and place correctly, but if there's any reason to take like a 1-point hit, that's fine. Yeah, okay, parks in that area, definitely. Definitely. I think I can do 20, and then... Nope, doesn't fit. So I will instead do a 18, and then 21. Perfect. 21. Now I'm deforesting, so I'm going to start seeing actually a point value drop in these. But again, they're actually worth 5 more than the number shows, because they are going to benefit the resort oasis when I place it. There's still some decent values around here. I don't have a plan for the circus. I can get, you know, decent values from a lot of spots, but I don't need to place it yet. I'm still placing houses. I may as well wait. And you see I'm also, like, I don't even discuss the warehouse. I will end up placing more of these resource buildings before the warehouse. If I place it now, I can get 34 seems like it's probably going to be the best. Yeah. Place it right in here, I can find a 36. But I can do better than that. Any more masons I get will drive it up 5 points. Brickyards might end up out here, but that's still points. It's worth waiting on. Oh, I do have a tiny mansion right now. Just like we drew it up. 14. And then this huge 49-point fountain. Thank you very much. Now my next fountain might also be up here. As long as they don't touch each other, you can still double dip pretty effectively. I just need to leave a small spot for the gold mine and jeweler. But 31 is a lot of points. Let's go ahead and continue building mansions down here. This will clearly be my next mansion city, so may as well go ahead and start cashing in. I'm actually worried about that spot. Yeah, let's undo and see if we can place this a bit further out while still getting... I may not be able to, actually. I think that's as good as it gets. And... yeah. Maybe. Alright, finally the gold mine. Now, the gold mine itself, I didn't even talk about last time because it's not applicable, but looking at it and then doing the math with the other buildings, it's fine to place the gold mine early. You know, it gives the jeweler 10 points, but then the jeweler takes 30 from it. So you almost may as well just go ahead and place it. Its radius is so small. It's a relatively small building. I think my gold mine up here, like right where I was thinking about placing a fountain, is going to be the most valuable. So it doesn't really matter where I place my mine then. You see this radius is large enough to touch everything. But I should probably place a couple mansions down here, because that radius is easily large enough to grab them. So I'll go ahead and place this in... oh, it does fit in there. That's really cute. That's a small spot. See, I'm up to 65 points. The mansion down here is actually worth 5 more. I think it's 5 per mansion. Yeah. Although, honestly, a 12-point mansion is not as good as what I'm getting over here. So, I don't mind waiting, though. My mantra, you may have noticed, is to always wait as long as possible. Because buildings, in most cases, just go up in value. Obviously, sometimes you end up placing them in such a way that the negatives start to build higher than the advantage of waiting, but that tends to take some work. Let's actually... you know, it's a real shame, because there are some really high-value houses here, but I don't want the resort oasis to touch them, because they'll be worth minuses. But I think this one is too good to ignore. So we'll go ahead and place that, and then I'll dedicate the rest of this space to parks. So I can go ahead and start filling it as efficiently as I can. Put an 18 here. Wow, getting another narrow park is a real benefit, actually. So now I can... 19 and another narrow. Wow. It's going well. The small parks are really nice. Market. Another great building that it's great to just wait on. Building one on a wall plateau like here would do some cool stuff. Right in here is also cool, but it'll only be worth more later. So few things detriment it. Literally just other markets. So wait as long as you can. That's what wall plateaus are for. I'm trying to keep the pace up, but I'm reaching the point of complexity down here that I am still trying to think about my decisions. So the Mason first. Yeah, I can still get 16, because this has offset the negative of this. This Mason also subtly punishes me for every house I've placed in this area. But it's a pretty small effect. I can get 18 back here, but that's way less likely to touch a temple built off of this wall. So... even this 16 I'm not crazy about. I wish I could place it in here, but that's just too small of an area. I suppose I will accept this 16. That's really far out, though. If a temple ends up here, it'll touch it, but if I have to build it here, it will not. Challenging. The statue is worth 40 points to the temple, I believe. So even though it might make sense to put the temple here, like 25 versus 40, simple math. I can't really get any good point values from around here. Like that 10 I like, but it's liable to block where the temple will end up. I'll just take the 16. It's not ideal, but the way all these ended up placed in here cut off other options. And like placing this continues to make my huts worse. Like now the hut up here, it used to be 25, now it's down to 23. Again, another city center out here is what will save it. It also made my warehouse better, so checks and balances. So warehouse, or brewery, pardon, goes on a water plateau out here. Tavern goes somewhere in here. Hopefully still touches it. So I don't think it actually fits. Yeah, it fits okay in here. 27. And this is like prime water plateau region, though. Parks out here still valuable? Kinda. 15. I think I actually like it fine in here. It's not perfect. Does it benefit from plateaus is the question. No. Because I could just place this out here, but then I'm getting 0 points from the plateau. Even over here isn't that valuable. Alright, let's just do this. And future hop field will need to be on plateau or water plateau anyway. And then go ahead and score this if I can find a decent spot to fit it in. I guess I'm actually not. I think I've filled this area. All of these trees are based on parks. Like, these are the only 2 authentic trees still here. Now, a narrow park might fit there, but I actually don't think it will. So let's hold off on parks for a while. 18-point fountain is just not that tempting. Actually, if I can get... I might end up undoing that, but I want to see if... Yeah, this still fits. Okay. So I guess I do... No, but my mansions down here are still going to be worth more. Quite a conundrum. Quite a conundrum. And there's just no way to place this far enough forward for it to touch these mansions. I mean, you know, if I put it literally at the very edge, like here, maybe I'll get 1, but then I may as well just slide it in and get 2. So this is probably not going to benefit unless I end up building another shaman, like here, but that's probably already minimum distance. Oh no, I'm slowing down. Alright, gotta place a building. Same logic as last time. Sand pits are not super valuable. I don't want to take up space around the city center just to get 8 more points out of it, though. So 8's a lot. If I could get... Yeah, that's fine. That's far enough away from the city center I can still fit building and a half in there. That also, another penalty for the hut. As soon as I place that city center, I'll place my huts. Then, next up, probably plateau, actually. Plateaus don't penalize each other, so I can dip into a lot of the same point sources I used last time. This does a little bit of deforestation, but it also creates a lot of ground. So, I do want to make sure that I'm clipping as little as possible to get a large building space. But it seems like, you know, sliding to the left or the right is just changing which side is getting cut off. So I will slide it all the way to the left, actually. All the way that doesn't cause it to miss space on the right. Yeah, that's fine. And it's 30 points flat, which you can't really complain about. Got some high value mansions if I choose to build them in that area. Even decent houses, although not quite the same. It's a squarish spot. I can fit 2 of these, I bet. 21, 22. Oh, that 22 was actually unnecessary, so that was a mistake. I could undo it, but again, I'm trying to play fast. Resort Oasis, right? So that's going to end up being a huge point value, like, here. And I could go ahead and place a plateau and get it, but I also get 5 more points for every water plateau that I place. So I'd rather wait. But you can already see how this area will end up paying off long term. Another plateau. It's really tempting. Place this here. It gives me room for more hops fields, which I'm otherwise out of. Let's do that. And this is 17 points. Yeah, that's fine. Can also get 15 and leave more room, though. Which, as I said, 2 or 3 points is not worth losing a good building spot for. Because building another one here is another 13, so it's a net positive. More mansions. I actually like this shape. I don't want to take out too many flowers, though, because I might be able to triple dip. Seems unlikely, but possible. I know that I work to, like, save that space, but I don't think I'd be able to actually fit anything in there realistically. So let's go ahead and place that. Now, I think still 65 is going to be topping out. Yeah, the advantage of going to a lower value is that I could then place a better fountain up here, but it's not considerably better. It's also getting decent down here. Alright, what of these do I need just to get 2 points? I guess a park. Park out here is decent. This would occupy a good hops field spot, or else I would build there, but that seems fine. Because this, again, will get caught by my resort oasis when I build it. Right here. As described, the tavern. There's several good, smallish spots right in the middle of my houses. I never really planned for the tavern. You can always find somewhere to slide it in. I think this 59 is my current best, but it will get better with time as more houses fill up this area. Speaking of, I have a house to place. Man, would have thought a square house could fit up there. But I suppose not. 17's fine at this stage. Really waiting on another city center. Like, I'd like to hold this fissure as well. But that might not be possible, looking at the buildings I have. Trying to think about efficient placement order. 26 versus... There's going to be a 40 in here. Yeah, 41. This is already up to 43, but again, I'd rather wall plateau it somewhere more central. 2 fountains. I should go ahead and place a fountain then. Yeah, that's probably fine. And then realistically, I don't want to build more mansions in here because they're worth so much less than these mansions that I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the 65 to get new buildings. That might be a small mistake, but I think I needed to cash in one of my big buildings, and the jeweler was a decent choice at least. Alright, so if I build in here, I get 50 points, which is kind of crap. If I build here, you see it, you know, completely overfills the point indicator. So I'm getting more than 100. And even if I have to build it back a little bit, I'm still scoring pretty well. Building it over here would be sweet. So with 1 or 2 wall plateaus, I can almost certainly build it in that region. So this spot is not going to be used for the temple, which I did not expect, but it's still good to confirm, because now it means I can guilt-free place this. But before placing this, the warehouse that is, I would like to place any other industry I have, because this will benefit from... What of these will I actually place? Maybe a brickyard, maybe a mason. Yeah, it's actually probably already almost at its real score. Yeah, this is gonna have to go maybe here. Again, once I get water plateaus, that whole thing will open up. This isn't worth, right? 16. 16's not bad. 24, but does that block the warehouse? Let us see. I saw a 40. Yeah, it does not. Sweet. I could go ahead and build a fisher, but again, I'm really holding out for a city center. So of my remaining buildings, the parks are not going to be worth a ton. Let's just may as well place them. Obviously I can find a higher value park right now, but I don't ever think I'll have a higher value building to place in that spot. So I may as well just go ahead and put a park there. This is the spot we were debating earlier. It looks like a park does not fit. Can fit kind of an awkward one in here. It won't benefit the, oh yeah, that's where the tavern's going, so I should not do that. Second jeweler already is kind of awkward. I mean, I can get... Please tell me I can place it up here. That would be beautiful. Looks like no. Might even end up on a wall plateau, depending on how long this goes on. But... Getting multiple jewelers is always something you have to be aware of. I did not expect it to happen so early. But by the late game, you might end up with 3, so... At some point, even though it has this huge minus 35 negative, at some point you can break even or get an advantage just from mansions. You don't even need the gold necessarily. But I am not at that point yet. Man, this is rough. I don't actually know what the least painful building to go ahead and place is. I think it's actually the Tavern. So I've almost maxed out its reach. I could probably get 10 more points out of this, maybe 8. It doesn't even get me the next tier, but with a park it might. Eight-point park would only be worth it if the... Oh man. It's so tempting, but I can't. 8-point park would only be worth it if the resort oasis was going to touch it. That's what I was going to say. But I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and take the hit on a hut. Because I want to have a narrow park to... You know what? I'll get narrow parks later. We can build this. This is fine. 14, and then there's probably still, yeah, 41. Okay. Walls means I'm getting real close to unlocking plateaus, which if it wasn't obvious is really holding me up right now. Now, another... These... 12 points is decent. Don't think it's going to get better. Let me see what it looks like in this spot, but... Okay. Then I can get a 19 in here pretty easily. Oh man, that would be beautiful. I can also just put it over here. 24. 16, even with the minus 16. It's kind of funny. 29. Wow, that's a lot of points. Yeah, let's do that. A large building wouldn't have fit there anyway. I do need to keep my circus in mind, but I may have kind of given up on a high point value circus by this point. Because that's probably... Let me see what a circus is worth right there. Probably not enough. Yeah, okay. No way. So I will take a 29. Walls, just like before, you just want to hold off on. Like so many buildings get fewer points if they're built near a wall. Typically you want to build your walls last, in my experience. Where will my circus go? I cannot say. Okay, so clearly I'm going to need another high point value building. I'm not going to get there with, like, my park. So I think the least detrimental might be the warehouse. 47. Let's do it. Then at this point, maybe it's the park. Is there a good park over here? Yeah, 12 points. But I think that might take up a spot a mansion could touch both of those from. So it's probably a net loss. But maybe like that. That's too narrow. No way. It's tough. So I don't want to take up prime mansion real estate. Well, okay. That's actually not bad. Yeah, I think that 11 is worth it. And then I can build a mansion like here, 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 and still touch those shamans. Seaweed farm? What a late seaweed farm. I was starting to wonder if they even showed up on this island type. Okay, so seaweed farms are funky. They are different than the other resource buildings in that you want to build the farm first. The farm gets 4 points per field. The fields get 9 points for the farm. So even though their detection radius is pretty small, you can still pack them in around the farm, especially just like 3. So the farm... the unusual detection radius is also worth remarking on, although it's pretty simple to use in my experience. You just kind of point it so that it touches the fields, but not the farms. I mean, it's easy enough to just sort of hover it and then figure out what angle is going to work the best. Obviously, now it doesn't matter, because the first one you place is not going to matter, but further warehouses are probably still going to go in, like, this area, or maybe on a water plateau, or a plateau here, so I think I want it in this general region. I don't think I want to get the statue, it's too far in. So let's just place it, like, here. I think the other big thing with Seaweed is shamans get points from it. Will I place more shamans out here? I kind of want to, just to keep this insanity going. But it would probably have to be here. So I could just do my seaweed here. You know, I don't see a strong reason not to do it this way. Maybe I'm making a mistake, but I think this is going to be alright. Then I'm going to want to place them like so. Maximum usage of their small radius around the farm. Then 16 points. That is a lot of points. perfect. Notice I left a large enough spot there for another narrow mansion to fit in. Still waiting on that city center, and again, I'm basically at the exact same problem point that I ran into last time, where I don't have any building I currently want to place, and I'm kind of waiting on something that may never actually show up. So these will get 7 points per city center, and these are 6. I guess I go ahead and place like 3 huts to get the points I need, but they're down to 20. It's like pretty garbo. 22. So it turns out this did bite me in the butt. I should have placed these earlier, but... Yep, there's the 3 huts I needed. The balloon gets points for interesting buildings, is kind of how I visualize it. Like destinations, the resort oasis, the market, the tower, the circus. And I also find that because it doesn't have placement rules, like you can place it directly on top of things, it's pretty good to just wait. I know that I say that a lot, but especially right now where I haven't yet placed any significant building. I guess the warehouse is like the most serious thing I've placed this entire time, which now that I look at it is kind of silly since I'm trying to play quickly, but... I'm going to wait on the balloon, long story short. I know I've said that about 1,000 times. If you have a drinking game to drink every time Connor says wait, you are dead. For my next points, I'm in the same problem as last time. Alright. These mansions will get me part of the way there. Then I have enough mansions down here now that this is actually profitable. It's not crazy. I can probably get a 25, I would expect. From some angle. No? Alright, well I can get a 20. So I can just get more points just by taking the hit, which is kind of sad, but that actually doesn't seem terrible. Like, it's kind of stupid, but I'm not going to get a larger mansion city that also can touch my gold mine. So even though I might get another high-value jeweler later in this region, this one will not hurt that one's score. Can also get an 18-point fountain. I think I'd rather take... I know that this one's 30, but I still have hopes of getting another mansion in here to touch these, so I'd rather take the 27 in a less overall valuable spot. And then this park might be able to get me 7 points. Yeah, this will get me over the line. Monument, and I think next up should be plateaus. So then I'll get water first. I can use my resort oasis to get over the line to wall. Once I have wall plateaus, game is easy mode. 10 points over there. I saw a 15, I thought. 12, certainly, but this is interesting. The way that these two cities and all these shamans have played out is interesting. 10, 12. I think I'm okay with taking a 12. Yeah, that's in a pretty space-efficient location. So the way the monument works, I guess I should talk about this. In the announcement for the expansion, they said this was a building for, like, the super optimizers, which I don't really understand. It's pretty easy to optimize. You want to build it near the city, because you want to benefit from all of your parks, but it hates all fields. Like, the only thing that it hates is fields. But I imagine that because all my fields are lined up here, I can just place it, probably on a wall plateau, but, somewhere in here, and get a huge point payoff for it. Also, like most buildings, probably just better to wait. But yeah, I can already just get 68 without putting any effort into optimizing for it. I don't fully plan for the monument, because you generally end up with a block of parks anyway, in my experience. And the monument the fact that it hates fields is so irrelevant because fields are always clustered up. They're always near each other. So it gives you, like, an area to avoid, but finding an area to place it in is easy. I mean, look at how large this radius is. But anyway, it's another high point value building, so it's good just to have in the game, I think. Next step... Man, I really did want to speed up, but sometimes it comes to these predictive math problems where you think, like, alright, so each fisher that I place now is kind of like -7 from what it could be worth, but then the huts are, you know, -6 from what they're worth, and they would benefit from the fisher, but the fisher will benefit from them as well, so I think I'm not likely to get a city center with either plateau choice, because both of them will come with, let's say, 3 of their plateau. I think wall is always 3, and water is going to be 2 or 3. So there's not a lot of other buildings to pack with them. There probably won't be a city center. So on the assumption I won't unlock another city center soon, I'm going to go ahead and keep placing 22-point huts. So I have an unlimited number of these. It's a pretty good point payoff. How does that not fit? Does it fit if I do it the other way? So 22... Yeah, that's really funny. Like, it fits the other way, clearly. I was able to place these two and then these between them, but I'm not able to now place a hut in this tiny gap. Oh, I almost had it there. Work it in like that. Nope, not happening. Ah, well. Alright, I'm still going to be short, but much less so. So now I only need 12 points, which, to me, looking at this, I could try and find a wall spot. Like, I know I was considering this spot earlier, although now looking at it, it's obvious that a wall will not fit there. Yeah, no way. But there might be a wall already somewhere. Like, the mansions are going to expand this way before they expand this way. So maybe a wall in here. Man, that's rough, though, because I might want to put, like, one mansion here. That's okay. Not ideal, but it's okay. I had an 18, I think. Could try to find that again. Yep. Alright, good enough. Good enough. Yeah, here's the plateaus. About time. And I only got 2, but hopefully one of them is green. Okay. Bad start. Bad start. As I went over last time, water plateaus are hugely random. Because if you get the bad ones, like, for example, this shape is literally the worst one, then they're not super useful. But the good... Oh, man. Okay, not getting a green plateau in those two is pretty bad, given that I was kind of banking on that to place my resort oasis, which would have easily unlocked the next tier. So instead, I will have to get there with my other buildings. Obviously, that's like a self-evident statement. It's pretty obvious, but... 13-point mansion is cute. I have to place it in this kind of awkward, like, space that doesn't properly utilize the shape. But that might still be my best bet. Okay, let's go ahead and get this 10. I'll definitely get it eventually, so may as well now. And let's go ahead and waste this space. Unless maybe I can... No. 13. Then more huts. Same logic as last time. 22, 22. Then... Oh, man. Alright, so my next city center over there, so my fisher will go over there. So maybe a fisher... here. And I know that you're thinking, wait, doesn't the resort oasis go in here? But the resort oasis is kind of more on the right side. It's not flush with the left. So it'll actually go right here, most ideally. Wall plateaus. No water plateaus. I did get another shaman, though. So let's see if the shaman trick over here is going to pay out. So I can get a -2, -18, +5. It's not great. +10 over here. 9. Okay. I guess let's keep this up. It's kind of silly, but I think this does actually work. I mean, like a house right here would be worth some buku bucks right now. Now, for the moment of truth with my temple. Is there a wall plateau placement around here that will touch the statue? So, this is one thing that undo buildings is really good for. 19. I'd forgotten that the tavern was -20. So that's unfortunate. Because 19 is like garbage. We can do way better than that. And it's just because it's too high up. So it's not able to touch any of the houses. But that's probably not going to touch the statue anymore. Yeah, 22. This may have been a mistake. I may have lost my good temple placement here. This -20 and also just the fact these are all so low, it's hard to get a wall plateau built out over them. However, there is a temple that touches the plateaus and also the statue. Obviously I can't place it there, but if I can maybe build a bridge in... This will be a challenge. Okay, so this plateau is going to be a pretty juicy market. So it's not wasteful to place one here, even if I do mostly just want to use it to build further inwards. Because now I can build off of that. Although this space does not look considerably better, but we'll try it. Yeah, it still doesn't get the 40 from that. A little tricky. 87. Okay. It's respectable. It's not excellent. And I can't take this one back, of course, because I've since placed things. The fact that it's only undo one building is good, I think. I think it's good for the design and play of the game. I'm wondering if maybe at a different angle I could get a slightly lower placement. It really does not seem like it. Seems like that 17 is as good as it's getting. Okay, if I can still place my market here, then I think I can live with this. It's not ideal. Again, I'm missing the big points for the statue. And I know a lot of people like just like placing a plateau and then surrounding it with mansions and getting a 120 point temple. But let me stress that like the points that the temple gives you alone is not enough to outweigh otherwise good building placement, right? Like, you have to consider the points you got from every building you've placed and all of how they apply to each other. Now this is savage. If I could do this, that actually might be better. Gotta build one, like, here. The fact that it clips in so much is super awkward. But then I'm only at 35. If I clip it in real far, oh, wrong building. This is not going to build anymore, but the next one built out here. Alright, let me add this up, because I can't actually see how many it's worth. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 120 plus 60, 100, it's like 200 points. If I manage to place it perfectly right there. As opposed to over here, I get 17 points for this, which is 6 more, right? And then this is 87? This can't be right. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous and hilarious. So this is my new temple building location, I guess. So, because this is still going to be good. Like, this is still a good spot to build mansions. I can still utilize this wall platform. And the second plateau here with a 75? What am I missing? I guess it's just not low enough. That's unfortunate. I mean, this is still decent, but... If nothing else, I bet it... Oh, it doesn't fit a market, because this clipping. Oh no. Oh well, some mistakes were made. I do think I can still get a high point value out of this. But is it higher? Difficult question. Like, will I be able to boost it more over here, over there? Hard to say. Hard to say. Neither of these is ideal. Let's leave it this way. Although all my new mansions are going over here and they're 10 points each. Alright, let's leave it this way. Go down low as I can. Trying to move my mouse like individual pixels. 70? I think I had better than that. Tries to play faster, places and replaces the same wall plateau 30 times. Alright, so there's a 75 right now. And I will leave these wall plateaus as they are. We'll just play on with this. I'm not totally correct. I made the right decisions here. But this is still 90-something. Okay, so I don't want to cash in any of those yet. Temple means I should not build... yeah, none of those are really going to be a problem. I'm not building my circus over here or anything. I was wondering if I can get good point value out of this, but that minus 15 is just going to be too much. I will, however... No, I should not place this yet, because I'm going to have mansions right in there. Alright, we wait. As always, we wait. We can go ahead and get this guy down. He's worth a lot more over here, but I need to get points out of something. Let's go ahead and just keep things moving. versus 13 versus 12. $19, I guess. And I have to place literally anything. Now I don't want to place walls over here, because they'd benefit more if the temple was already down. So, I guess we've looked at this. It probably isn't getting better than a wall, right? I'm not putting a mansion, or I'm not putting another house in over here. There's definitely higher point value houses. So I guess 11-point wall. And now, finally, I have to start farming. Delayed it as long as I could. And these masons and stuff are going to be decent points. The farms themselves are always going to be crap, but mills can get you decent scores. 19, 20, 13. I like that, 20. Now I could just start building houses over here. The upside to that is that they do benefit the temple. It's only 8 points, but still, that's 8 points. The other downside is they don't benefit my circus, but I'm still a little unsure what's going on with the circus. The circus I don't really have a strong plan for. And even, like, the highest points I've ever gotten from a circus is still, like, sub 50. Like, it just doesn't have a large enough radius, and I'm not going to leave a big hole in the middle of my houses. I don't think that's worth it. So maybe I do just start building these absurdly high point value houses. I need to zoom in underneath this thing. 34? Yeah, okay. It's like a joke. 5 shamans. Living the life. Still waiting on the fountain, waiting on the temple, need a water plateau or plateau. I'll settle for anything at this point. The warehouse I could build, and the mill and field I can go ahead and build. So, the mill, I could just place for points, which would get me, is it 30? Yeah, 30 points. Now that is where I was originally planning to put this puppy, which is still just 68. And even this is not much more than 68. This is touching 2 city centers, a bunch of parks, only has 1 negative. And more parks will hopefully go more towards the resort plateau. I don't know if this is going to get better. I'm going to take that. It's probably a mistake. Like, it's probably better to build a couple parks up here, and then, but they're only worth 8. Like, surely this is going to get me more than that. Wow, that was the worst building unlock round. I mean, seriously, I'm not going to get many points out of what it just gave me. My phone also just detected me saying the word seriously as me saying the name of the iPhone Intellect. So my phone came on. I don't want to say her name or else I'll wake her up again. But yeah, like what, I was going to build a 4-point park up here instead of like whatever this is worth, just to get 8 extra from that instead of 5 extra from the resort oasis. Doesn't seem worth. Now, I was discussing a warehouse down here previously. I can get 17 out of that. Looks like it doesn't really fit anywhere else. How did I go from 17 to 6? There we go. And I should place the mill first, actually, if I'm going to place both of those. It's only 5 for the warehouse, and this is 7 for the mill. Okay, I think I will put the mill here. I know that a house right there could also be high value, so maybe I place the mill. Can't put it on the sand. Let's go ahead and go like field here, field, and then 39-point mill, and that still leaves room for a small house, I think. Then with the mill down, I can now place a 24-point warehouse. Getting there, getting there. Now it's crap. Now this is bad. But I still don't have any good buildings for it. It's like the Circus, the Resort Oasis, Market. Okay, late game stuff. I know I am in the late game, but I still want to hold as long as I can. That would be better as a house. I think it's walls, actually. I go back to walls. So, where can I get wall points? That's nothing. 5 is nothing. This change to walls having these 2 detecting globes, so you can place them end to end without a minus, is really smart. Like, it's cute, it's simple, but I think it makes a lot of sense and leads to some better placements. Now, does this get penalized by walls? Probably will. It does not. Interesting. I don't normally place walls before Resort Oasis, but I think it makes perfect sense here. 20 points. And then I probably only need 1 other good wall. Seaweed farms don't care. Mansions are actually going to go this way, not this way. Now, houses might go over here, but I think I need the points now. Take like a 17. Yeah, okay. Still no water plateaus. Well, a new Mason. I could build over here for 19 points. Or I could build it over here and not be in range of the temple. I assume that isn't in range. I'm going to take it back if it isn't. 93, not in range. Okay. So it looks like I'm just placing Masons for points. I know that houses like them as well. Houses get a not insignificant number of points. Oh, it's only 2? I thought it was at least 4. Alright. 26. Looking good. Yeah, 26 is fine. And again, I'm going to try and place this in such a way that it doesn't take away valuable land for other buildings. I wonder if that's a clipping mistake on my part. Yeah, okay, so this will fit here for 20. And then the Mason will fit in a similar spot. So I shouldn't clip it into the plateau. And then this is 2 extra points. This should be 22 now. Nice. I'm still not holding out hope for the city center. Seems that it will not be arriving soon, so 22 is fine. I might be back to walls, actually. These parks are not worth a lot. I guess I can start considering, like, parks out here, which will help the walls if I end up placing more of those. It's better than I expected, actually. 15. Even with the minus and 11, it's decent, but let's dream bigger. 13, 12. Now this has got to be worth a bunch now. 29. Do these care about fountains? Looks like no. Alright, I just want the points. I need to get more unlocks going. Water plateau. Literally the worst. 9 points, as opposed to 6. Yeah. Oh! So there might be some slightly higher value huts if I avoid some of my industry by building out here. Yeah, and little mistakes like that are the kind of thing that if you're really willing to take your time, you can just explore, like, every possible little sliver of land you might be able to build on. But I am trying to keep this video short, despite the fact that later islands can just take quite a while. At least the way that I play. I'm sure there's some players who play a lot more by feel and can predict more accurately where buildings will score well, but I like to look at it oftentimes repeatedly. Two more parks in this area? It's starting to feel absurd. Like, at some point I'd be better off having houses out here, but that is 28 points, so can't complain. $14. Alright, and now if I kill these trees, I will not be able to place more high-value parks in that region. But I think it's probably still the correct play. Alright, here's a plateau. I'm going to go ahead and cash in the resort oasis. I think I've gambled too long on putting it off, so I'd like to place it right there. So this is going to be 4 points no matter where I place it. May as well place it close. And then 141. So that's the payoff we've been building towards. It's a lot of points. And this will also fit in well somewhere right in here, but no rush. So this is the benefit of having parks on kind of the edge of the city, especially close to the hops fields like that, and the water plateaus. Sweet. So I can go ahead and place this. And again, like, the trickiness about the globe extending differently than coming from the middle of the field is, like, really easy to just work around. Like, you kind of just move it until it touches things without touching the other seaweed farm. I don't have, like, a trick to doing it. You just can look at it. So in this case, you could even do some stupid... Nah, 30's gonna be fine. I want to get them as close as possible to each other, but no need to go closer than this. So 30, and again, you want to place these as soon as you get them, because the fields score higher from the farms. 31-point mansion. Alright. Mansion is right, man. I'm rich in points. Then let's try and get some more 23-ish point huts. 21, 21. So I need to get... Yeah, there's another 23. And then these houses. One will fit pretty well in here. I mean, I could go ahead and start placing them over here. Like, I know this is a higher value house than what I was just building, but I want to utilize this space with mansions as much as I can, because, like, the central spots might not, but towards the edges, a mansion would be able to touch this, where it can't if I place it further out and the house can't. So my policy is kind of to give mansions the prime spot, and then to build in the houses as needed. Brief aside, but... 9, and then I was expecting an 11 somewhere, but I guess more 9. And this is going to be 20. It was 26 last time, so 22 with another -4 makes sense to me. There might now be a higher point one. Yeah, 25 is higher. What am I missing? I guess the walls. But 25 is fine. There's no, like, cool spot I can sneak it in. Unless I put it just right on the edge here. Alright, 25 is fine. Plenty of points. Then my seaweed, get 13. It's pretty good. Can't quite get them both, I don't think. Yeah. 13's a lot, though. 2 more mansions to place. I really like this color of mansion on this color of map. It's nice. If I angle it, I get a 20, but a small mansion would definitely fit in there, so no rush. 14 or 20? Where's the angle? I would definitely expect this to be able to angle in here somehow. It looks like not. 15, easy 16, 22. That's the kind of number I like to see. And 24. I'd love it if I could get to the next tier without placing anything else. If there's a house somewhere that gets me enough points by itself. But I might have to place this park as well, which isn't a big deal. 20... I know that I already discussed this logic last time, but this time I'm actually going to go ahead and place my house here. I think we're getting close to the point where I will place the temple. It's up to 148, 150 something I just saw. Yeah, 58. It's not bad. But this house might make it better. 66. 66. That is the 8 points from the house. And 16-point field or park, pardon. That's probably good. Seems fine. Again, trying to keep things rolling. Okay, well, the good news is almost all the buildings I just unlocked are very easy to just go ahead and place. Like, there's no point in waiting on a lot of this. So, there's a 14. This is a default of 9, so you should never take fewer than 9 points unless you really have a clever scheme in place with brickyards. But I get a 12 pretty easily. It's probably not getting any better than that. In the field, I obviously just place up here. And a mill. Now, can I somehow get most of these points without touching that? I think there's like a 48 up here that accomplishes what I was looking for. I'd rather place this 48 than this 48, because this one is further away from another high-scoring mill in this region, right? So I will go as far out as I can. 48. I have 18, 30 something. That's a lot. 37 might be good enough. I can accept 37. And then hopefully this park will get me the 10 points I am still missing. But this is like perfect mansion territory. I don't want to take that away, so... 12 is fine. Okay. Still not green. Wow, I'm getting punished really hard by the water plateau RNG. gonna actually build this way. If I build a city center out here, I want land to build on, so I might end up with houses on top of this. Later, of course, but could happen. 15. And now, like, I could get a 15 using less of the kind of prime real estate around these shamans, but I also want to make sure it touches the temple. So I think that 15 is fine. This sawmill is, like, so late to be relevant. I can get 2 lumberjacks out here, or I could get the warehouses and a lumberjack. That's probably going to be higher points. Like 7, even with the minuses. 16. That's kind of funny. I guess from, yeah, the statue is what makes the difference. It doesn't even have a single lumberjack. As opposed to out here, I can get a 14. So the 16 up here is decent. If I can find it again. I actually cannot find it again. I think I was... yeah. It's also an efficient use of space. Fits in pretty well. Looking at what I have here, it might be time to market. We're in 24. Trying to think where I'm going to build the expansions to my city, and I don't think this will benefit from them. Like, I'm probably missing like 6 or 8 points if I wait, but I do need to unlock things now, so. Because I don't imagine I'm building many cities over here, or, you know, building mansions around here. Like, no way, it's all happening in here and then eventually in that direction. 2 more mansions mean I can probably max out what my, oh wow, 30-point mansion. I can probably max out what my temple will touch, so. Probably about ready to place that guy. 10... 19, and yeah, temple touches them all, so. 191? That's, you know, that's a very good temple. I think I do stick by my decision. I think this is worth way more than I would have been able to finagle over here, even with, like, you know, 50 points from 2 of these, minus 1 because this would be in a worse spot, but I think this is still better. Plus I have this platform here that I can just fill with walls. Will this be the time that I place the temple? Maybe not. I think with these buildings I can actually, maybe 1 wall I can scrape by without placing it yet. Easy 7. Yeah, I can't avoid both of those. Lumberjack there with some trees. 10. Yeah, 10 seems good. Then parks in here are still, like, decent. I don't want to take up prime mansion or house areas. I think I saw like a 12 out here. It's probably getting a lot of points from the trees, so try and find that again. Wow, 13. Yeah, okay. 10. There's my 12. And this hut will easily get me over the line. even just pulling 20 points. Yeah, there's no... I don't think there's a trickier place to place it. Man, you're killing me here. I mean, I still have some value in these buildings, but not getting the best unlocks. It's okay. Middling results, we'll say. Alright, 16... This is definitely worth more, but will the temple touch it? Or is it even a legal placement? I guess not. Oh, there we go. 19. Now I will start placing some high-value houses over here. 30-point house. Yeah. I think I'd rather have that land for walls, though. 16... Let's go ahead. I think we're at that point. 199 points. Versus... Oh, I saw 2. There is a 2 somewhere in here. Okay, let's scroll all the way in. I'm gonna find this maximum point value temple. It's like the slightest possible adjustment. Nice. Obviously you can get a higher point value temple, but part of the reason that people get kind of inflated temple scores is that they place their walls ahead of time, but it's definitely better to place them in this order. Like now I'm getting 10 points onto the wall from the temple. Get 16. It also might be worth just placing one just for the points, somewhere that it can touch a lot of trees. Like there's 20 something, 25 from the sawmill. Yeah, let's do 25. I don't need the building space. And, oh, 26. 27. Perfect. What a weird water plateau. A lot of fields I don't want. Yeah, these buildings, like, these small point values are just kind of the small bumps that you use to try and move between these major earnings. So I'll take 23, then this narrow park for a 26. Another narrow could be worth a lot if I had a place to fit it in, but looks like there are no options. That's going to be really nice. I'm going to wait and place a square park there first, but that's a good wall. Very efficient utilization of space. No way will that fit, right? 12 points. Yeah, I definitely did not leave a spot for this. So the next plateau I get need to go to this market, because that's a lot of points to just leave laying on the table. Plus 18 is probably better than anything I'll get elsewhere. Oh, I can build on the inland water. That's cute, because it'll touch these two city centers. a good score. I'll take it. Then I think these 2 houses might actually be enough to get me there. So I'm going to build these right here so I can put a wall adjacent to them and score off of that. I'm going to try and fit 2 walls in, I think. As far over as I can still get 32 points. That's where I want to build. Put 1 wall there, and nah, I bet only 1 wall fits actually, so I will take up less space. Still get 32. Okay, here's a plateau. So I need to use this for the market, I believe. So right here would be ideal. Looks like there won't be enough space though. Right here is good. Right where I built all these crappy parks. Probably should have had a little more forethought about this particular building, but we will see what we can make work. 31 is not even worth placing. Yeah, these crappy parks are definitely catching me up here. This would be a nice little boost. It's not a huge value market, but I actually might need a wall plateau to make this worthwhile. Like there would be nice, but that's also deeply buried in buildings. No chance. If I can get 40 from those 2 warehouses, that might give me the point advantage I need. Get ahead of the curve. Yeah, 70 something's fine. Okay. Okay, so this is the general plan. I want to see if I can get more than 10 points out of this placement. So I already found a 12. 20 is too clipped in, I think. I think I won't be able to place on it, but maybe that 20. Nah, looks like a no-go. Alright, well I can take a 12 at least. Which must have been what I got originally. I don't think I got just 10. I think I misread the number. 74. Okay. I am definitely feeling the reduced point values. Or, pardon, the increased point values necessary to unlock the next building. I feel like I have a long way to go even after placing relatively high-scoring buildings. So I'm going to continue to build my houses over here as long as it is profitable to do so. Sure, maybe a circus in this region is not... Oh, I forgot the mansion's penalized. Yeah, circus is ruined. I have 2 of them. 12... 12's good. So that double shaman and that double shaman both seem to be filled up. And this is only a single, but there is, I guess these wall plateaus are also yielding some points. I mean, a 16 is fine for a mansion. Seems like I'm back over here now. 21. a wall up here is going to be worth something, so I don't want to take away that placement. I also don't want a 10 or 12-point house. Like, surely I can do better than that. Although I am getting to the point where I might not be able to. 13. I bet there's somewhere out here where I touch this brickyard without hitting any of those. So that'll be 12 points if I do manage to find such a spot. 12. $16 points. 18-point Fisher versus 11. Take the 18, obviously. Alright, it might be time to tower. And I actually, because my city is so spread out, I have several good towers. Several similarly high-value towers. So I don't need to worry too much about them overlapping or robbing each other of points. So this 68 seems like a good start. Then I can put another good one that touches all of those mansions. My entire original and new mansion cities. Yeah, sometimes the game, like, it just gave me 6 buildings. Seaweed farm, seaweed field, 2 fields. There's just no way that that's going to get me the 109 points that I need. So you've entered kind of this entropic stage where you are gradually losing points. If we include the buildings that you haven't played yet as, air quotes, points. You are falling behind the curve. So I can get 38 here without doing anything fancy. If I place a water plateau here, though, or even just a normal plateau, I'll be able to get a pretty high point value seaweed farm. So I might try and wait on that. I know waiting has burned me before, but I'm nearing the point where I need to have something break my way in order to keep playing. Not there yet, but I'm nearing it. I'm also at the point where I can just kind of start placing walls. Like, obviously, I'll try and place them in spots that I think I'm done building, but gotta get your points from somewhere. This is the new relaxed wall building requirement in action. The fact that you can clip out over the water like this. Didn't used to be the case. And it is good. It does allow you to do some kind of fancy walls that were previously not possible. None over here, sadly, but, you know, like, this wall's decent. Okay, there's a water plateau, so I instantly got rewarded for my seaweed farm decision. And this one's green, for the first time. Tempting to put it over here, but I think I need the seaweed points. So, proper placement of this puts it, say, here. I'm sure I can also do it the opposite way. Let's go here. No, let's go here. Closer to other relevant buildings. 58, that is every single seaweed field captured. Basically out of field space, and you saw how late I started on it. So 12 points versus 13. Yeah, I can't get more than 13 out of that area. Versus 11. Seems like 13 is actually the best. Even with this huge cluster of huts here, I can't offset the like double negative from having to pick it up, or even triple negative right there. That's fine. I don't think there's any more really profitable houses in this region. I think we should just look to continue this. Yeah, I'm still able to get one shaman with these houses. It's a far cry from what we were able to do previously, but you have to work with what you're given. In this case, it's going to be a 30 point wall. And just because nothing else will fit in this spot, I will take 14. I generally try for a little better than that. I saw a 20. Yeah, there we go. Good wall. I know that this does prevent me from placing more houses this direction, but I'm going to need a new place to put houses soon. If I don't get a shaman or a city center, it's going to be a challenge. Three points. That is technically positive. Yeah, my circus is... Perhaps I should have planned for them. Yeah, there's not going to be anything over here. Alright. That does seem like the last field I'll be able to fit up there. That was nice. Versus 15. I think nothing good around here, right? 20. This area is too full. No way will it fit. It is. And this I really can't get good points out of, can I? My plateaus are in use. I can't really get near the mills. I'll hold on to it. And at this point, I should just go for points from the mason. Although I need a reason to build my houses elsewhere. So if I can get a decent point value mason here, that does make my decision to build that wall look bad, but 16 versus 23. 23 is okay. Okay, let's actually do this 23. And I can get some love over here. Not going great, though. 11 points versus 9 or 8. Yeah, even without the wall, this would not have been more valuable. Seems like 11 might be about as good as it gets now. Oh, 114. Even with a -4, another 14. And very uninspiring, like 40-point balloon. I might try and get another tower in here first, though. So... you generally want to put your towers high up, but I think I might be able to... Actually, 74 seems like it's going to be my best option. Over here, they give 15 more points to the balloon. So... 69 is the break-even, or 59 actually, is the break-even point. So this 60 is worth more than the 70 whatever. Yeah, it seems like 63, because of the benefit that it gives to my balloon, it's going to be more points overall. Nothing good to be done around here, is there? +7. Yeah, this is just never going to be worth very many points at this stage. So I think I'll take some random 7, whatever. +6. Could just build it out in the middle of nowhere and take the 9, which I think I almost have to, actually. I think the rest of the land is filled up. Still trying to play quickly if possible. Now, this house, I will again... 3 points. 5. 10. In a way that a wall might benefit as well. Eight-point park. I need a square park to fit down there. Ironically, the fact that this is narrow actually blocks me from using it as I'd like. 11. Here's a square. 17. Not bad. Then I can place this wall for full value, which is 25. Somewhere. Okay. And placing this one in the water, I can probably get some good points. 12's decent. Not blown away by it. $15 and 12. I know that I just said I'm not blown away by 12, but if I'm building a tower over here, I want to go ahead and have those down. Tower is one of the few buildings that want you to build your walls before them. So 79 points is the number to beat. That seems pretty unbeatable. It's a lot of points. Alright, here's some high point value buildings. Now it's cashing in. So I need a wall plateau to really utilize a market in this region. And my tavern needs to... The minus 15 is going to be hard to offset. Like, I can build over here and get 41, 42. 42 even touching that, so I don't think I'll be able to beat that over here. Yeah, no way. 42 is probably fine, given where I am. 54. Well, okay then. Right, at this stage, strategically, I know it's been a while since I talked about strategy, I'm kind of playing on autopilot. Strategically, what I'm really trying to do is set myself up to unlock more buildings, and to do that, I need the big payoffs. Like, the small payoffs, they do add up, but you won't make it all the way around the wheel trying to cash in parks and fields and garbage like that. So, my number of walls is dwindling, and walls are always my, like, quick, I need 30 points to hit the next level. I fall back on walls for that. So when they run out, I'm really down to counting on getting big buildings like the market that I can leverage for enough points to make the next level. And strategically, that is what I'm trying to do. Whether or not it works, we will have to wait and see. So can I place a cheeky market somehow using water plateaus? Here's too far away. I mean, right in here isn't terrible. If I drift it in from that side, I can kinda do it. Looks like that's as far in as it goes. 50 points. I mean, that is 50 points. I will say the number again, as though that changes it, which is exactly what I needed. Unlock new buildings. Okay. This one okay, so... Again, I want to place these so they touch that field, but also get maximum value from other seaweed. So I'll take a 14 and then a 12. These fields, again, I'm going to try and save, but given that I'm about to place a mill, I might want to go ahead and place them. So where will this mill go? Good question. Well, it's a 52 right there, and I could probably fit one or two more fields into that. Because, like, these points from these structures have now been outweighed by the massive fields that I have. So what I should do is try to place these in a way that I might be able to score off them. Ooh, the fact this is also a green plateau. I was gonna say it might open something up, but I don't think it does, actually. Like, at best, it lets me place a circus that scores. Alright, let's just do it with 2 up here. And then maybe this mill will touch them. Nah, looks like nah. Oh well. 52. A fine mill. I don't think it's worth undoing that. I mean, I guess I may as well. But I don't think I'm going to get a lot of points out of my fields ever going forward. 52, then a 20-something point hut. I'll take a 21 just for the sake of speed. There might be like a 23 or 4 somewhere, but... Then, how am I going to get any points out of these parks, or even this house? Like, even the house I'm going to struggle to get double digits out of. Hey, that's a good 14. Mansion. The mansion penalty, if I only end up getting it once, is not too bad, but it looks like this won't fit. That's fine. Alright, I'm going to cash in the balloon. 55. Yeah, I don't think I can... Actually, there's two different 55s here. There's one that gets the resort oasis, and there's one that gets the market that's right in the bottom left corner of the screen. So I will put this up here in the hopes that I can place another over here if I happen to get a second, which I've never actually gotten a second balloon. I believe it is possible, though. I haven't played a ton since the update came out, just enough to familiarize myself with the new buildings. But I got such positive feedback on the last video that I just had to make another for you guys. I really do appreciate all the comments and likes and views and whatever. Again, I'm tempted to just place this for the 9 points, but because I have a... oh, really? Are those exactly too far apart? That and that? Like, I just placed them carelessly, and it turns out now it's actually biting me. But I can't get a 14. There's even a 6 in between them. Yeah. Well, I think this is going to get a ton of points. Yeah, okay. So 41 points right there. So this is worth 4 more to it. But... oh, okay. I can get a +9, which is its value. So I definitely misplaced that. If I had spent a little more time on it, I may not have, but definitely a mistake. Should have kept these clustered up so that that would have been a greater benefit. Then... oh god, I may not even make it this time around. Looking at it, like 90 points from this, given how low value my circuses are, is going to be a stretch. So, the circus, as far in as I can, is still not going to be touching much of anything. But I'll try it. Valiantly, I will attempt. I guess I want to go flat like that. And get 8 points. Alright, we can probably do better. Although my houses are so poorly placed, I may not be able to do better than 8. Yeah, because they're all locked up in this little area here that I can't build into. Lovely. Okay, so a 13-point water plateau is nothing to write home about, but then I can get 12... oh, 16! Alright, that's probably worth it. That combination. Probably worthwhile. Then these 3 fields, I may be able to place them in at least small clusters so that they give each other the +2 or whatever. I don't think 2 will fit on here. Oh, they do. Alright. 72, so I need 48 points. That's actually achievable with what I have. So I'll unlock buildings one more time, and then I'll probably be exhausted. But that seems good. I probably still have several good walls in this area, actually. I haven't placed a ton. Man, the sand pits I really wish had a clearer graphic on the ground to show their actual outline. Some 12s. A 12 might actually be, might be what I'm getting. Okay, at least here's a 13. A little less shameful. I can easily get 2 13s as well. Then if I get essentially any points from one park, I will get new buildings. There might have been more than 9, but at this point I'm just playing things out. So, oh man, when you get unlocks like this that really make you wish you'd put this over here instead. Don't even think I can, yeah. Hops Fields, minusing the Resort Oasis, I tend to forget, but it's unfortunate. Well, as I finish playing this out, I hope that this video has been helpful to those of you that are playing past the first island and not totally sure how to continue the principles that I outlaid in my last video about unlock order and build sequencing and build placement. Hopefully this illuminates at least some of that. This is not a particularly good island. As I said when we first started, the statue wasn't ideally placed, the gold mine was a little strange, and with this style of building, these tall mesas are almost unusable. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to achieve any sort of amazing score, but easily unlocked the next island. So, hopefully there are still some principles on display that you can apply to higher scoring islands. 8-point house. And it's not over yet. I could possibly scrape across. It doesn't seem likely, but I need to place every single building just for points. I can't think about the future anymore. So I can get a 25, 27, making moves, 29. I'm going to assume that, oh, 29 is because of the wall. I don't actually have any more walls to place. So, that being said, there's a lot of walls over here now. 29 is the number to beat. 26. Close. Close but not. So I saw 29 out here. Okay. Then 32 is just going to be insane. Like, frankly, that's a lot of points given where I am and my available building locations. So definitely going to go ahead and take that. Still have no way of converting this into any points. +3. Up here is my baseline, right? I think I did have a valid placement here that was worth something. It's like 8, I think. Yeah. 8 points. Can I beat 8 points? $11. Yeah, let's assume that 12 is as good as it's getting. Then, I wonder if, oh, okay, I can get a tiny bit of points, even with all these walls and houses and everything. I saw a +7 at one point, so that's my number to beat. +10. Oh, 15, wow. Like, as awful as that is, it's something. Yeah, okay, I'll take the 15. So these can now be 7s pretty easily. I have an 8 park. That might be a good one here, actually. 10. Man, if I manage to limp across to the next tier. 9, still lower than 10. 10 is still a number to beat. This is all full. They don't want to be in this mess. I mean, I don't think anything fits in these little gaps, unfortunately. Alright, yeah, let's take the 10. Sure. And then this one is also a thin line. So there may also be a cutesy place for it. Looks like I will tragically fall short at the next unlock. There is not some hidden circus that's going to score me 42 points. There is no such location. So, I think this is a... well, let me see if I can get even, like, 2 points or something out of this. Probably not. So it starts flat, and then it just wants to be near statues and houses. Yeah, simple building, but... Boom. Alright. Well, that was my guide to playing the further islands in the game, also including the expansions buildings. I hope that at least some of you found it interesting and learned something from it. I think that this island, like I've said, is not ideal, but the principles applied on it will apply to any island that you play. About build sequencing, choosing when you place your buildings, and also sort of planning ahead for where you're going to place them. And I also hope that some of the stuff we did with planning our temple, either putting it here or here, shows the kind of decision-making that you can make even mid-game, using the undo button especially, to change your tactics going forward. I hope that you found this educational, and I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching.